Dr. Pandey, distinguished guest on the dais, faculty and staff member of MIT, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear students. A very good day to all of you. It's a privilege to be here. You know, industry academia interface is very close to me, and I feel younger by 10, 20 years when I come in the midst of students, discuss with them, talk to them. And I make it a point that once a month, at least once a month, I visit one college or the other to interact with the student, to talk on some technical subjects or any topic of interest to students. So thank you very much for giving us an opportunity. I know I'm speaking to the young minds, and it's very difficult to get an attention more than 10 to 15 minutes. I have been allotted 25 minutes. Please interrupt me in case you start finding my address boring, especially considering that for last 3 days I was traveling. I was in place Baroda, Ahmedabad, and yesterday I was in a place called Anand, where the milk revolution, the white revolution started. And the purpose of that was to learn something from that experience and how can I adopt in my business. So I didn't get an opportunity to really prepare well in a structured way, but some of the discussions from the previous speakers and some notes while traveling in the car from Mumbai, I jotted it down. So any point of time, you can interrupt me if you find it very boring. It's a repeat of what other speakers have spoken, so not something, I'm not going to speak something very new. See, we are in the midst of fourth industrial revolution. Earlier we had a steam revolution started, and several on. And you can see the industrial revolution time is coming down. The last revolution, electronics revolution, was about 20 years back. Now there is an overlap. The time is cutting short. And you find several changes, technological changes that have taken place during the last 2 decades, especially during the last 4 or 5 years. Today, we had several hotel chains, but Airbnb, they started their operation a few years back. They do not own a single hotel room, but they are the largest service provider for the hotels. Similarly, in India, we have Oyo Room. They started it, and they have grown very big. Same thing with Ola and Uber. They don't even own any asset, any car, but they are the largest fleet provider. So the technology, the way of doing business is changing. Remember a company called Kodak. Kodak was a well-known company. I do not know how many of you would have heard the name. They were well-known in photography field, and from photography, they were the one who invented digital camera. And as soon as they invented this digital camera, they were out of business because the business model changed. Nokia was number one in the mobile business. Well-known company, well-renowned company, but they lost an opportunity. They were a very good company. They did nothing wrong, but they did not change with the time. So it's not just the technology, the two examples which I gave, it's not just that developing a new technology that you can take it to a newer heights or you can stay ahead in business. We are in a connected world. You have to see how the market is changing, how things are changing in the market, and accordingly adapt to those changes. Today, when you say our economy is about, creativity, innovation, connected world, socially connected world, how do we take the best use of technology, the current technology, and adapt it to the world, come out with innovative products, innovative solution. Steve Jobs, all of you are familiar, and he was the greatest innovator, and he said, it is the innovation that distinguishes between the leader and the follower. So keeping innovation, we have to continuously innovate, keep thinking about the future, what we need to do. Today you see in the digital revolution, things are changing. And certain industries we were discussing prior to coming here, like the banking industry, is going to get majorly impacted by the digital revolution. We have, anyway, nowadays we hardly go to our bank branch, and slowly you'll find all the transactions are online. The bank branches will become redundant. A very similar thing in healthcare. We talk about the healthcare industry. Healthcare industry also is going to, through this digital revolution, is going to change dramatically in the coming future. Once you are connected, all you need is the devices, the diagnostic tools that are connected to the patient. The information can be transferred to the specialist who are sitting somewhere, maybe 1,000 miles away, 1,000 kilometers away. Doctors need not travel. So the general physicians and others will start losing out unless they change their skills, and it will move towards more the specialist field rather than being a journalist. So in today's economy, the way the things are changing, we have to keep our ear and eye open and see how do we adapt, how do we think about the new ways of doing business, new technology, and continue so that we continue in the job. I was very happy, to learn from Professor Pandey, Dr. Pandey, that this institute, not only imparting knowledge, it's a value-based knowledge. And that is something very important for our country. If you see our country, see 3,000 years of history, our country, we have been conquered by various invaders, Turks, British, French, Portuguese, Dutch. They all came, they invaded, they looted us. But we have not done that to anyone else, because we believe in freedom. Now, but during the last if you take in 1850, India was contributing close to about 22-23% of the global GDP. And today, our contribution is hardly 3%. So things have changed in the last 300 years. While if you see the Indian ethos, we believe in freedom, we want to give freedom, but our invaders, they realized, the Indian value, Indian culture, how do we destroy that? Our education system, a value-based education system, that has been, over the last few hundred years, have been destroyed. And that is something we need to change if the country has to progress, especially looking at the opportunity. Today, in India is the 4th largest GDP. We have a very young population. Our average age is going to be about 29 years or so. We have more working hand. 66% of our population is in the working group age. And if you see in the developed countries, it's aging, they are finding it difficult to find people to work on jobs. So things are changing, in the world, and that is an opportunity for us. Opportunity, how can we grab these opportunities? And unless we look into our Indian values, Indian ethos, we will not be, unless we go back to our roots, what we were. So I'm very happy, congratulations to you. You're talking about sanskars, values, and they are very, very extremely important and extremely critical. And looking at the opportunities that we have in front of us, the government of India, they launched the various initiatives like Digital India, Smart City, focus on manufacturing, skill development, and if you really focus a lot on these initiatives, in the next 5-10 years, we will be able to grab this opportunity that's available to us. And you are, as a young student, you have the future of this country is in your hand. You can take it in the direction, the way that we can continue on the growth path. Today, our GDP, we are the fastest growing in the world. And we can even continue to grow at a much faster pace, take the lead in the world, grab the various opportunities that are available.